Hi everybody, Andrew Cuneo here. Today I'm going to be playing a little bit of Standard with one of the new Aftermath cards. So this list is based on the White Weenie list that I played a few weeks ago in the Standard Metagame Challenge. It was a decent deck. It wasn't as good as the actual top decks in Standard, but it wasn't that far off. So we've got one new card that I think warrants consideration, Coppercoat Vanguard. So it's a 2-drop, 2/2. Each other human you control gets +1/+0 and has Ward 1. So it's a Lord for humans, 2-mana Lord for humans. Not the most powerful card in the world, but it is really synergistic in a White Weenie deck. So I decided to try it out. I did make a few modifications to the deck. I had been playing Progenitor Exarch, which is not a human. So I cut those, I added more Hopeful Initiates, which is a human. And I also cut the Intrepid Adversaries for Coppercoat Vanguard. I think the Coppercoat Vanguard's probably a somewhat better card just because it's more mana efficient than the Intrepid Adversaries that it was replacing. So right now, the construction of this deck, the only non-humans I have are the Skrelvs and I guess Mishra's Foundry and Archangel Elspeth don't make humans, but this is primarily a humans deck. Made a few modifications to the sideboard to kind of reflect what has happened in Standard since the last time I played this, which is that it seems like the outside of the kind of red-black shell Fable of the Mirrorbreaker decks, the other thing that's relatively popular is trying to just cast either an Atraxa or an Thalia, not really through reanimating them usually, but just casting them from your hand, trying to survive and maybe ramp a little bit with treasures to get to 7 mana, and then just cast one of those big creatures. So I've got some more Anointed Peacekeepers and Invasion of Gobakhans to try to, make whatever they're trying to ramp into a little bit more expensive, give my smaller creatures more time to close out the game. Outside of that, I've got some Surge of Salvations against red-black, more lay-down arms. One of the things that's nice about White Weenie and Standard right now is you actually just get access to really good removal. So between my main deck and sideboard, I've got 4 Ossifications, 4 lay-down arms, a 2/2 split, and 4 Brutal Cathars. So a lot of sideboarding with this deck is really just deciding what is the removal spell that I want in a particular matchup and just making sure you've maxed out on those. And if it's a matchup where you don't want removal, you're going to be boarding in, your Invasion of Gobakhan, Anointed Peacekeeper, Extraction Specialist, stuff like that. So, really straightforward deck. I'm going to run it through some ladder matches, and we can hopefully see how it performs. Hopefully I draw either a 2 or a 3 drop. I did not draw a 2 or a 3 drop. Maybe next turn. I'll at least have a play to make. Alright, do I want to play Ossification or lay down arms? Probably just Ossification. It uses my mana more efficiently. Against red-black, I do have to think that whatever I'm getting rid of here, there's a chance it's coming back with a Invoke Despair at some point in the game. So I think I'd rather keep the lay-down arms for a potential Sheoldred. This might work out a little bit worse if they had Fable of the Mirrorbreaker this turn. They do not. Do I want to play a removal spell this turn, or do I want to just get Elspeth into play? I think I'm going to attack first. I'm expecting them to trade, and then I'll just play Elspeth, and I'll make a 1/1 after combat. This will allow me to save my lay-down arms, probably. I'm a little bit surprised that they traded with the Hopeful Initiate instead of the Recruitment Officer. I guess they were worried I was going to play a bigger creature, and the Hopeful Initiate would attack as a 3 power next turn. What we like to see. Reckoner Bankbuster is a good card, but it is not a good card in all matchups. Here, I'm just going to make another 1/1, so we'll attack first. And keep flooding the board. In general, I think when you play against red-black in game 1, you should just assume that they don't have sweepers in their deck, or that they have so few copies that it's not even really worth playing around. I guess, fortunately, they do get my Archangel Elspeth, but the good news is, though, they didn't get any cards off of that. They got a token, a Planeswalker, and they did get their Bloodtithe Harvester back, so it wasn't completely clean for me. Guess I'm gonna lay down Arms the Bloodtithe Harvester. Just because it could kill the Guardian of New Benalia if I let it untap. And of course they're gonna animate here. So I'm going to attack and enlist. I'm expecting them not to block. They might want to block though, just to, if they have a removal spell that they're really going to want to cast on this, on their turn. Do I want the Guardian of New Benalia, or do I just want Recruitment Officer? Or do I want Coppercoat Vanguard, rather? I think I prefer the Guardian of New Benalia. Backup Bank Buster. Did they find the removal spell? They did. Okay, I'm probably going to be using Recruitment Officer some. This is a little bit awkward. I'm 1 mana off of being able to use the Recruitment Officer and cast the Hopeful Initiate. I think it's more important to cast the Hopeful Initiate. That's unfortunate. Come on. I need the Knight Captain of whatever it's called. Knight. I don't know what the name of the card is. I need the 5-drop. Because that thing is going to brick wall me. This is over. Maybe I should have done this sooner, where I just sit back on the Recruitment Officer. I don't think that there's really a way I'm going to win either way. Once they're able to slow the game down enough that they can just be drawing with Reckoner Bankbuster and I'm not even putting any pressure on them, it's pretty much over. Well, this is one of the better cards I could find. They're going to attack an back Shieldred. Oh, they didn't get Shieldred. They got Blood Tithe Harvester. Oh, the Shieldred was exiled. That's why. Yeah. You win this round, opponent. You win this round. All right, against red-black, I usually like to have my removal be more lay down arms and fewer ossifications. And I like Extraction Specialist. I don't really like Archangel Elspeth because of what we saw happen in that game where it's not very good against Invoke Despair. And I usually trim Hopeful Initiates. The problem with the Hopeful Initiate is that if you don't get to train it twice, it usually doesn't do much, and they have so much removal that it's not very reliable that you get to train it. So this is what I'm going to go with. These lay down arms are looking a little bit suspect. They are cards that I can just pitch to the Guardian of New Benalia, though. I probably should have attacked first. If they're going to spend mana to force me to pitch a card, I think that's not that bad for me. I knew you would come in handy, lay down arms. Please no sweeper. It's not a sweeper. So that's good, I guess. I'm giving up a damage to keep the Skrelv untapped. Guess that's worth it. I find Skrelv to be a very hard card to play with. I usually just want to attack with it when it can attack, which probably isn't the best way to play with it. It's just kind of awkward. I think I really just want to find the Knight Captain guy. I wouldn't hate to draw planes or, you know, like a random castable 2-drop. Most of the cards in my deck are okay. It's just I want something that's actually great. That's not it. Nope. Ooh, we got a blocker. That's going better than I was expecting. They must just have more Shieldreds in their hand, right? Guess I'm holding this now. Probably was supposed to play the Initiate and hold the planes. Maybe not. I want Thalia or Ossification. I might want Ossification. It's a little bit late for Thalia. This opponent really does not like me having cards in my hand to pitch to the Guardian of New Benalia, or they hate having creatures in play, one of those. Down to 8. They have quite a lot of cards in their hand, though. Invoke Despair would be bad, but it wouldn't be that bad. I would animate a Foundry and sack a Foundry and the Ossification. Is that bad for me? It doesn't seem that bad, to be honest. What are they even going to do with it? Okay. Aren't they just dead now? Knight-Errant of Eos. I've been trying to figure out that guy's name. There's no captain in the name. That was my mistake. They're going to kill my Skrelv. I guess they don't want to because it means that the Thalia can attack. But I'm just going to play this, I think. Alternately, I could have played the Coppercoat Vanguard and attacked with the Thalia. Ugh, I whiffed. That was not a good feeling. This is too many lands. Still dealing damage, so that's nice at least, but 7 planes and an Eiganjo is too much. Also, they have a lot of cards in their hand. Alright. Think it's better to try to find 1-drops than to deal 2 damage. Whiffed again. That's probably spells the end of the game. Whiffing twice with that thing in one game is rough. It was for 1 and then for 2, but it's still...
Stopping tyrants like you is...
It's miserable. Well, I don't have Ornithopters in my deck, so... Rather than whiff again, I will shame concede. What kind of matchup is this for me? What sort of deck would a Raging Tiger play? Probably Rakdos. I can't play Ossification plus Skrelv because of the Thalia, so I'll just get the Adeline out. Hopefully they don't have a second Blood Tithe Harvester. Bankbuster, okay. So I could trade the Adeline with the Bankbuster, and I get a 1/1 that gets through. That seems pretty good. I'll play this thing first, just because maybe they don't want to block with their Bankbuster and I get an extra point of damage. This does potentially let them know that I have an additional Adeline. The way my deck's constructed, there's no reason to do it for 4 over 3. Like, I don't have any 4-drops. I can only find 1s, 2s, 3s, and if I can actually do it for 5, I can find other copies of this. These are the kind of draws you want against the Rakdos decks, where you're getting value out of your Knight-Errant of Eos. You're actually getting to attack with an Adeline. Oh, it's time for some sushi. Are they finally going to kill something with the Blood Tithe Harvester? No. They decided not to. I guess that makes sense. It is saving them a point of damage, sort of. Does the fact that they have Atsushi mean that they're playing like a higher curve deck? I think I'm just going to board in the typical way that I board against Rakdos. Not have a bunch of removal that's just really for expensive things. So if they're actually ramping into a Thalia or a Traxa, I'll have to just hope to draw one of my Ossifications. Or sometimes I can, especially against the Thalia, I can get a big enough board that I can just attack through it and win. This is the extremely awkward double Eiganjo draw. But I thought the rest of my hand was good enough that I kept. But maybe it was a bit optimistic of a keep. Drawing the second Surge of Salvation really didn't make the hand seem better, I have to say. They're just moving in on the attack. More harvesting of the blood. That seems... why would you do this? This doesn't make any sense. This is just like strictly worse than just activating the Blood Tithe Harvester and the Guardian of New Benalia. This is not the most durable Knight-Errant of Eos. It will die to the Blood Tithe Harvester or trade with the Reckoner Bankbuster. Okay. I might actually use all these spells. I'll just pitch the one-shot land. I think 3 mana to kill the Bankbuster in combat was going to be too expensive to realistically happen. What do we got down here? Thalia. I'll get the Thalia, even though obviously I have another one in my hand, but they seem to care about the Thalia enough that they killed it even though they knew about another one, so maybe it'll come in handy. This just puts the most power in play, which means that next turn I'll be able to either convoke this guy out easily or I'll be able to enlist and do something else. Oh, it's time for sushi? Okay. I am probably going to cast the Knight-Errant of Eos after combat, so I'm going to leave 2-drop creatures on top of my deck because I'll be playing it for 2. Well, the Convoke will be 2 on it. Get rid of the extra Thalia for now. I wonder if they just got the treasures to draw a card with the Bankbuster. Hopefully they're not about to play a Tali. That would make me sad. So you're the most expendable. Having Thalia in play was making it very hard to use this Surge of Salvation. Okay, so they've got a Rafine's Tower. This almost definitely means they're playing some sort of Atraxa deck. That'll probably help me deal damage. I have the Surge of Salvation, and then they only have 2 cards in their hand, so I think I would like to just make sure I'm dealing as much damage as possible. That's why I attacked with the Skrelv. Definitely don't want to sack a treasure to use a blood here, because you could just wait until you untapped. It's a pretty common logical mistake that people make. The treasure would still be there on your turn. If you can't draw anything you're going to use right away, you should just wait. Lost the die roll? That's not helpful. Not bad. Duress-proof hand. Not a Bankbuster-proof hand, though. Come on, don't have, go for the throat. All right, things are looking up. So if I attack with only the Adeline, it will trade with the Bankbuster. It's not that bad of an outcome for me. So I can attack with the 1/1 as well. No, I can't afford to attack the 1/1. Because I want to be able to play Recruitment Officer, Thalia, Knight-Errant of Eos. Oh, it didn't trade. Okay. If I'd known it wasn't going to a trade, I could have attacked. Both. I should have tapped my mana more carefully. Now if I draw a white 1-drop, I can't cast it. And I get punished. Deservedly so. That was sloppy. You can attack, you can attack. You're probably a free attack. Could just attack with everything. I wonder if I might have had lethal if I animated this. No, I don't think so. Next turn, I'm probably going to have lethal. Need to put them to... I need 7 damage. Block 2. If they have a removal spell, I only need 5 damage. It's looking pretty good. Same sideboarding plan as always against Rakdos. Come on, duress. I can't imagine I'm getting turn 1 duress post board again. They mulled to 5. That's a positive sign for me. Playing the Skrelv here does mean I deal damage slower, but given that I've got a Thalia and an Adeline to protect, I think it's well worth it. I'm going to play Thalia now, just in case they have a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I'll go big with the Adeline. They have Go for the Throat. Lame. That was a bad play. I should have played the Guardian of New Benalia instead. Wow, they have Glistening Deluge in their deck. I do not like that. This is not a card I want to play against. So I kill them next turn with the 3 extra damage from the Vanguard if they don't have anything. They have something. I didn't like that. I don't think it's worth attacking. It would be at 7 here, and I would probably not have a Coppercoat Vanguard, so my board would be way less threatening. Sync flashbacks by removing counters from planeswalkers. Ooh, so now we got a choice. Oh no, we don't have a choice. I can't lay down arms the Shieldred. Well, I don't think I want a Plains. It would allow me to kill the Shieldred next turn, but I think I'm just going to kill the Fable this turn. And we'll bottom this. Oh, okay. I was going to lay down arms the Fable after combat anyway. So I just dealt 3 extra damage. If I attack with everything, it would probably block this. I'll take 11, go to 3, back up to 5, and I'll be killing them through, if they draw nothing. I guess I'll be killing them if they draw a blocker. Yeah, seems like a good enough alpha. How was it off by 1? Oh, because they didn't block the Coppercoat Vanguard. Block the Recruitment Officer instead. I think this hand is a mull. This hand is much better. We'll be optimistic that I don't need 2 Thalias. Hopefully this isn't Rakdos. I've gotten a lot of Rakdos, but that's the reality of playing the standard format, is you're just going to play against Rakdos a lot. This is maybe mono red. Guess I'm still going to lead on Skrelv. Yeah, mono red. Okay. Definitely isn't worth giving this thing pro red. There's still a Thalia in play, and they only have access to 1 mana. Also, I think in spots like that, it just generally isn't worth playing the protection card. Or trying to use the protection. Like, you lose 2 life, and you're only protecting yourself from sorcery speed things. So even if they had a 2 mana and I'd gone to protect myself, they still could have just cast play with fire in response. I think they should have attacked there. I was not going to block. If they attack, I'm not going to block. If they don't attack, it's going to be a little bit awkward because I think I'm also not going to attack then. It'll depend a little bit on what I draw. That isn't anything that changes my mind. So I'm just going to pass, and I'm going to use the Recruitment Officer. This is a matchup where maybe Intrepid Adversary is better than the Coppercoat Vanguard. What? I've whiffed so many times with that thing this video. That time I was doing it for 5. Backup Skrelv isn't the most exciting thing I could see there. But it is a thing I could see there. All right, we need to come up with a different sideboarding plan. I know the Skrelvs kind of helped me that game, but I think that they're generally kind of bad. And also I think my opponent just played into one for no reason that last game. I think I want Surge of Salvation and just lay down arms. Maybe cut some of these. I board Hopeful Initiate out a lot just because I think it's the weakest card in the deck. So you're going to have better options to board in a lot of the time. Is it possible I'm going to trim Thalias for Anointed Peacekeepers? Probably not. And I guess I'll leave Archangel Elspeth in just because it makes lifelinkers. So I have 2 shots at a land. I think this is keep on the draw. It's very easy for our cards to just wind up trading with each other's in this matchup, so just being down a card is not good. And also flooding out is horrible. If I never draw a land, obviously I'm going to lose. But if I have like 2 lands in my top 4 cards, this is actually going to work out pretty good. I could just trade here. I think I am actually just going to trade. If I had a land and I knew I was going to draw planes so I could go like lay down arms, play another 1-drop, I certainly would not have traded, but don't get to know that. I'm just going to keep making this play. It's going to keep getting worse and worse for me. Okay, I don't have any 1 toughness guys out. That's kind of nice. try to flip that. Okay. How bad is this thing when it flips? It's just prowess? Okay. So they might be able to flip it by like lightning striking it. Guess I'm gonna not try to find 3 drops and just choose to deal 3 damage instead. Is this killing their Phoenix chick? It really didn't go that badly for me. It seems like something you could do at instant speed if you were interested in doing it. Maybe they're about to play something else that'll make it make sense. Yeah, I guess if they're gonna like play with fire, the Knight-Errant of Eos while I'm tapped out, that would make sense. Or I guess they're getting extra damage here too. This makes some sense. I don't think I need to leave anybody back for a haster. I think I should just deal max damage. They only have 3 mana, and if necessary, I can block with this Coppercoat Vanguard and probably still have a lethal attack. I'm at 4. All right. Reasonably successful run with this deck. This deck does seem to actually be kind of good against the Rakdos shells, at least the way they're being built right now. They don't have a ton of tools for beating just like an aggressive small creature rush, especially one where you are able to get some card advantage from the Knight-Errant of Eoses, and you have reasonable removal. I've struggled a little bit against the decks that are trying to put Atraxa or a Thalia into play, because those decks are usually just all removal and then a giant Haymaker, and my removal doesn't line up that well against the Haymakers. But overall, I think this White Weenie deck is pretty good. I've enjoyed it. And with that, I'll call it a video, and I will see you guys next time. Next time might be the Arena qualifier. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video between now and then, but this weekend coming up, March of the Machine Sealed Arena qualifier. It should be a good tournament. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. See you then.